You're welcome to Straight Talk here on Afia Radio 99.3 FM. This morning, we are taking a look at something you already know about. But of course, we have to talk about our own things, dig in through our own perspectives on it. It's already not fresh news that the U.S. has had some airstrikes in Sokoto. Well, you already been hearing some of the afterthoughts of that aftermath. People are now commenting, saying different things. And even reports are saying that some of the terrorists are now on the run. On the run to where? They say they're on the run to safety. But that's not all the news. Again, Peter Gregory is in the news. So some people say he will be officially joining the ADC. But he was on an X space yesterday. And he said clearly that he's been part of ADC from the formation, that he even contributed, that he's been part of the coalition. So what does that tell you? That P2B is in for it. He is there. He's running. He's in the race. And he made his points clear on that. But then a great deal of other things we'll be discussing because I'm joined this morning by Barrister Amos Ogbonnaya. He is a constitutional lawyer and the executive director of Center for Nonviolence and Social Justice. Good morning to you, Barrister Ogbonnaya. Thank you for joining me on Straight Talk this morning.
Good morning, Alex. My pleasure.
All right, so let's start the conversation with your thoughts. I'm not sure I've asked you your thoughts about the U.S. airstrikes in Sokoto targeting the terrorists.
Yes, the U.S. intervention is a welcome development because it's long overdue, and Nigeria has demonstrated unspeakable incapacity to protect its own citizens. Nigeria has proved to be a heaven for Islamic extremists. Nigeria appears to the whole world to be training terrorists and exporting them to the rest of the world. We know about a young man, a Nigerian, the son of a known politician, who almost wanted to bomb American airline. That dent on Nigerian image has not been cleared. And over the years since 2009, Boko Haram has been attacking Nigerian villages, burning down churches, attacking Christians, even on Christmas Day. And there's no record of any one of them brought to book. No compensation for the victims. Nigeria continues to parade itself as a sovereign nation, and yet is incapable of protecting its own civilian population. Now, we looked at the regime of Buhari. Buhari was one of the politicians that actually brought insurgency into Nigeria, the Boko Haram, because he and other northern elites, including the Sokoto Caliphate, wanted to continue to be in power in Nigeria. And anytime they are out of power, they appear to be like a fish out of water. And so, when by mere providence, Goodluck Jonathan became the president of Nigeria, when the presidency of Musa Yar'Adua was truncated by natural occurrence of death, they became restless. And the Buhari, having contested severally for the presidency of Nigeria and lost, threatened that the monkey and the baboon would soak themselves in blood if he lost the election again in 2015. Now, the preparation they made to make sure that Jonathan did not go for second term was to open our borders to all manner of Islamic extremists from the Sahel, from Mali, from Sudan, from Libya, from Somalia. Every manner of person who can carry gun, they initiated, they recruited and brought to Nigeria to finish off the Nigerian state if Jonathan should go for second term. Unfortunately for them, Jonathan had no fighting spirit. He did not even wait for the election to be concluded, and he congratulated Buhari as the winner, yielding power to the same North. And lo and behold, they were unable to deal with the problem they created. The extremists, gun-trotting riffraffs they brought from the Sahel, they could not settle them or resettle them or even control them. Having got power now, they felt that they had arrived and then forgot about the boys they brought to cause mayhem in Nigeria. That is the origin of the insurgency that we have had. Some people have argued that Nigeria is a sovereign nation, that America has no right to come to Nigeria. When you say Nigeria is a sovereign nation, that means that person is ignorant of the current trend in international politics. Under Article 7 of the United Nations Charter of 1945, the United Nations Security Council is given the power to order military action against any nation that is unable to handle insurgency or internal crisis within its borders in such a way that such internal crisis could threaten world peace and security. Then the United Nations Security Council is allowed to order military action on such states. But in reality, we see that the 5 permanent members have it will veto the Security Council resolution. Or it is China that has interest, it will veto the Security Council resolution. Or Russia. For instance, in Bahrain, during the Arab Spring, there was uprising in Bahrain, and the Bahrain government, marched its security forces on the people of Bahrain, mowing them down. Peaceful protests. And there was need for the world institutions, international institutions to intervene. But because America had interest in Bahrain, because of the security platform that is having in the Gulf of Bahrain, they vetoed the UN security attempt to intervene in Bahrain. Look at the situation in Syria. When the Arab Spring got to Syria, the Syrian government visited them with extreme force that needed the world to intervene to protect the civilian population in Syria. But what happened? Russia and China vetoed the resolution of the Security Council so that the carnage going on in Syria against the civilian population could not be contained. And so again, the United Nations Security Council could not do anything to stop the killing in Syria. Look at the case in Libya. Libya also, during the Arab Spring, Muammar Gaddafi turned the guns on civilian population. And again, the world cried out that the civilian population of Libya should be protected by the international community. It was only then that the 5 permanent secretaries or permanent members of the United Nations Security Council could agree. And they passed a resolution authorizing the International Criminal Court to issue a bench warrant on Muammar Gaddafi. It was because it was an African country. So it was easy for them to unite against Muammar Gaddafi, and then the ICC stepped in. But having declared that ICC should step in to stop the killing in Libya, they did not provide ICC with the financial and institutional framework they needed to work to enforce that warrant of arrest on Muammar Gaddafi, because it will require a lot of resources, a lot of financing for an institution like ICC, International Criminal Court, to go into a sovereign nation like Libya to enforce a warrant against a sitting president. It will require a lot. Now, the United Nations Security Council could not provide these resources. And so it was just there. The arrest warrant was declared on Muammar Gaddafi, but it was not enforced until NATO, North Atlantic Trade Organization, had to now take it upon themselves to step into Libya to stop the carnage. So this is the problem that is happening with international politics that makes it impossible for the original idea of sovereignty of nations to be able to operate in our modern time. Because nations have been hiding under sovereignty to kill their own citizens. They're hiding under national sovereignty to harbor terrorists and to carry out activities that continue to be a threat to international peace and security. And let me tell you that as it is today, you know, the issue of warfare, the issue of movement of hardware, military hardware, the issue of financing terrorism is borderless. It can be done in minutes. To send money from one country to another to finance terrorism can be done in minutes. To move equipment, military equipment from one country to another can be done in few hours. And so it requires urgent military action to stop such escalation. And this the world cannot provide. And that was why in 2001, the Canadian authority came up with the idea of responsibility to protect. We call it RTP principle. Responsibility to protect. That every nation has a responsibility to protect its own citizen. And when a nation fails to protect its own citizen, when a nation turns itself as a weapon against its own citizen, that any other power, any other state in the world can, on humanitarian ground, step in to protect civilian population in such a nation. They call it RT principle. This RT principle developed by Canadian authority to look at the different ways international community have been responding to crises across the world. Some like in Kosovo. NATO intervened in Kosovo without United Nations authorization. Now, the same NATO intervened in Libya with United Nations authorization. In the case of Rwanda, there was no authorization from United Nations. No nation of the world was interested in what was happening in Rwanda. Rwanda almost finished itself with ethnic cleansing, crime against humanity, and genocide. No nation of the world was interested because it was an African country. Rwanda fought itself almost to finish. NATO did not intervene. United Nations Security Council did not intervene. These different ways of reacting to theaters of war across the globe caused the Canadian authority to come up with this RTP principle. Responsibility to protect. And the United Nations has accepted this principle as a modification of the traditional way of we used to know about state sovereignty. What it now means, the United Nations has set up what we call a commission, ICISS, International Commission on Intervention and State Sovereignty, ICISS. This commission has the function of ensuring that in any nation where the country or state fails to protect its own citizen, fails to protect, to stop terrorism, or is found to be financing terrorism, that every other nation, any other powerful nation of the world who is able can step in and control the situation to protect the civilian population, can step in to stop terrorism, can step in to get the job done to make sure that that terrorism within the nation's borders does not escalate or go beyond its borders to other nations. Because if you don't control terrorism, it will be exported to other nations. Look at the people terrorizing us today. They came from the Sahel. They came from Somalia. They came from Sudan. They came from Niger. They came from Libya. So terrorism is now an interboundary problem. So under the RT principle, under the ICISS, the International Commission on Intervention and State Security, the traditional concept of sovereignty as we knew it has changed. Today, no nation can hide under sovereignty to commit crime against humanity, against its own people. No nation can hide under sovereignty to harbor terrorists. No nation who is not able to protect its own citizen can hide under terrorism. And so, what it now means, like America said several times during the Obama regime, that no matter where they are after the 9/11 attack, America said it clearly, without even mentioning the RTP principle, that it is now a national security policy of America that any nation that harbors terrorists, that America will step into that country and kill the terrorists. They said it. It does not matter whether they have the consent or whether they refuse to give the consent. America will step in and get the job done. Because such terrorism is a threat to America. Because if you look at all Islamic extremists around the world, America is their target. And any other nation friendly to America, especially people that have the lifestyle of Western civilization, especially Christians, they are the targets. Like in Nigeria, Christians are the target of these Muslim extremists. Do you expect America to relax? For Nigeria to continue to harbor terrorists, then they will begin to send them to America. And then they will begin to bomb America. No, America cannot do that. Since Obama administration, since the 9/11 attack, they have developed its new structure of national security that no matter where the criminal is, any nation that fails to stop terrorism in its borders, any nation that turns with lethal force, kinetic energy against its own citizen, that Nigeria has this responsibility to step in and protect the civilian population and the responsibility to step in and stop terrorism so that it does not escalate beyond the borders of such nation. So today, when you talk about sovereignty, sovereignty comes with a responsibility.
That's right. Sovereignty comes with responsibility. Thank you for giving us a detailed analysis on the situation with the American intervention in Nigeria. Let's talk about the issue about P2B's political ambition. Some people are saying that P2B has taken a lot of time in openly saying that he's running, but he's been consistent with his message, isn't it? Talk to us about what your thinking is about P2B's chances of clinching the presidential ticket of the ADC. Yeah, we're hearing rumors that this person or that person had stepped down. He also responded to all that during a space last night. But what do you think about P2B's presidential ambition? He pledged to do just one term, respecting the rotation that is in place currently in the country.
Yes, what I think is that P2B remains the only sane voice in Nigerian political firmament. P2B is the only shining light in Nigerian political space. If you take him away, then there's no hope for this country. Because every other president or aspiring presidents are coming to take their turn. Their turn in looting our national resources, their turn in enriching their cronies, their turn in visiting untold hardship and suffering on the people. That is what every other person is coming to do, including Atiku. Because when you look at Tinubu's lifestyle, and it's in life entirely, this is a man that is shrouded with a mystery. And it's somebody that nobody in Nigeria knows anything about him. Nobody knows his parentage, nobody knows where he's schooled, nothing. And he has defeated the system to be the president. So, the problem now is that he is not doing things differently. He's not doing things differently. His entourage has even become longer than that of other presidents that have come before him. His larger-than-life lifestyle, his extravagance with public resources has even gone beyond the realm of physical possibility. What we now see is a president that sees and knows that this country does not have resources to fund his affairs and activities. And he is busy borrowing money to fund this lackadaisical lifestyle. This is a president that borrows money to consume. This is a president that is not interested in production. He's not interested in reviving ailing companies. He's not interested in honestly attracting investors to come and invest, because you have not provided a platform for such investment. No, no investor will come into a country that is terrorist ready. No investor will come into a crisis, intermittent crisis here and there. No investor will come into a situation where a country where the citizens do not have any idea of patriotism or discipline in management of their affairs and the affairs of others. So now, P2B provides a different narrative. He has consistently hinted at the problem with Nigeria. It's not that Nigeria is not blessed with enough resources. We are. But there are structural deficiency, leadership problem that is keeping Nigeria on its knees. Nigeria has so much resources but does not know what to do with these resources. And rather than using these resources to enrich his own people, the political gladiators hijack these resources, extract them for their own benefits. Look at the gold, the uranium in Zamfara, in the northeast and northwest. Nigeria does not know what to do with them. Then political actors in Zamfara, in northeast, hire bandits to cause mayhem in the villages where this gold, uranium, and platinum and the other solid minerals are found. They cause problems, chase away the natives, kill them, destroy their houses, so that they can now mine these solid minerals, the gold, the uranium, not mining to, transform them into any item or resource of utilitarian value, but they use their foreign collaborators to come and lift these minerals and pay them their money. Nigeria produces cocoa, and then all the years since 1960, we have been exporting cocoa to Western countries. They will use the cocoa and do coffee, do all manner of confectionaries and send to us, and we'll be consuming, buying them. In the end, we get only 4% of our cocoa production in interest, while the Western world get a whooping 96% because they process and sell. Well, our own is to extract and export to them. What manner of country is that? And over the years, we have not even done anything about how we can turn our vast reserve of cocoa fruits to something productive, something we can produce here and then export to the rest of the world. Look at the crude oil. Since the 1960, all the refineries we have had in the First Republic have run down under successive regimes. Nobody is talking about reviving these refineries. But every year, every government that comes into power votes billions and billions of money or naira into the revamping of these refineries. And these billions of naira are shared by NNPC officials, stolen, and no refinery gets revamped. Nobody asks questions. It goes like that. It goes like that. Look at NNDC. That was formed to see whether we can give back to these villages, these towns that are giving us this crude oil, with which Nigeria is now considered a rich country. To give back these villages. But NDDC officials busy themselves consuming this money, stealing this money, siphoning this money to private accounts. And when the National Assembly instituted a probe, and it was very clear that the person at the head of NDDC then, who is now the senior president, was responsible for the whooping sums of money that were missing in NNDC. All we could hear is that, off your mic, off your mic. And the mic was off till today. So, P2B gives a fresh hope that all is not lost. And so, Nigerians of goodwill are interested in the political ambition of P2B. Nigerians of goodwill, especially the youthful population of this country. They know that their country is gone. They know that the generation of their fathers have disappointed them and stolen this country blind. And in 2022, 2023, the youth of this country came out to take back their country in their numbers. They marched the streets in their numbers. They went to polling booths and met the old establishment, political establishment that will never allow a change in the country. Who don't believe in democracy? Who don't believe in due process? They were beaten. They were dressed in rain. They suffered all manner of hazards to be able to put down their finger on their thumb on the ballot paper. And they did. And these Nigerians took Nigerian electoral space by storm. We all saw that P2B won that election. Landslide. P2B won that election in Lagos, in Kano, in Rivers. But Rivers' results was unfortunately stolen and given to the ruling party. What has Nigeria done about it? Nothing. Election that was conducted in one day. National election went peacefully, and you could see the result. Many unknown figures who just lashed into the most movement of Labour Party, they all found themselves in the Senate and the House of Rep. They were surprised how they were able to make it. They made it because they rode on the crest of that social movement. They found themselves in the Senate. They found themselves in the House of Rep. Where are they today? They have gone back to the establishment because they have never been inherent part of that movement. They were only political opportunists. Now, many of them, or almost all of them, have even gone back to join the establishment. So, that of national election went peacefully. Then presidential election was manipulated by the grievous and manipulative INEC. They told us that there was a technical glitch. Till today, Nigeria has not been able to find out what was technical glitch. Nobody was interested in investigating that technical glitch. Who caused the technical glitch? And are there no consequences for such sabotage of our national efforts? Nigeria voted billions of naira to get the RF, to get the electoral machines, so that we could have a credible election. Billions of naira was voted to INEC. Over 300 billion naira. INEC, what did you do with this money? You brought RF machines, you brought all manner of gadgets, and you promised us that this election will be like none before it. That everything will be transmitted electronically as it happens. And they demonstrated that in Ekiti. And we saw how it worked. They demonstrated that in one or two other states that had off-season election. We saw that this RF could work. Why didn't it work in 2023 presidential election? It is because of corruption. It is because of lack of patriotism of the so-called mammoth of INEC. And what did we get? They stole Nigerian destiny in 2023. And INEC, in the midnight when Nigeria was asleep, announced the last person as the winner of that election. And so that is where we are today. Nigerians have not lost hope as long as P2B remains in the ballot. And so we were happy when he said that he had not lost interest, that he will still run in 2027. And we are happy that he has pitched his tent with the new party ADC, since the ruling party APC has pulverized the Labour Party. And they have pulverized the PDP. The two political parties that are long-standing that could give them a very opposition in 2027. Let us hope that the stakeholders or the delegates that will vote in the National Convention at APC will do the right thing. Because what we have always seen in these delegates are as the worst kind of people on earth. They don't care about national interests. They don't care about the mood of the nation. They don't care about survival of this country. All they go is to collect dollars. They don't collect any naira anymore. It's to collect dollars. And they come home and count the number of dollars they have got in National Convention. They collect dollars and vote the wrong person to fly the party's flag. Let us hope it will be different this time. Because if Atiku is running for that presidential primaries in ADC, of course, we know what will happen. Every year, he already has dollars stocked for such exercise. But if they will resist the temptation of this futile local and have mercy on this country and cast their vote the right way, for instance, the most important thing, that we need the southern Nigeria to complete their 8 years. Secondly, we need a candidate that has capacity and credibility like P2B. If they vote Atiku, they have destroyed that national understanding of sharing of power rotation between the north and south. Because the north have finished their 8 years under Buhari, it is the turn of the south to finish their 8 years, but it will not be under the current government. Because the current government has no direction. The current government has no plan. The current government all is fixated on killing us with suffering and taxation. Now they are taxing poverty. You have not been able to build wealth since 2023, May 29, 2023, when you took up power. You have not built any wealth. You have not revived any industry. You have not supported the medium and small scale enterprises. Now you want to tax them. What a hopeless administration. So what we are asking is that let the delegates in the National Convention of ADC do the proper thing. Let God use them. Let God inflict them with his spirit so that they will know that this nation is dying. This nation is dying and cannot continue to be in the hands of recycled politicians who have no manner, who have no control, who have no physical discipline over public resources. Let them know that this is our last chance to save this nation. Already the whole world has known us as a terrorist nation. And America has stepped in to destroy whatever remains of our sovereignty. This is the last opportunity, and it lies in the hands of the national delegates in the oncoming APADC primary election.
All right. This is Straight Talk here on After Radio 99.3 FM. This morning, we'll be having this very lively conversation with Barrister Amos Ogbonnaya. Of course, you can call us on 0911 6993 993, 0911 6993 993. That's the number you can call us on to be part of the program. And of course, lend your voice to any aspect of our discussions this morning. 0911 6993 993. You can join on my live stream on Alex Ogbodo on Facebook. You can contribute through that. Of course, when you ask to be part of the live stream, I will welcome you and you make your contribution. But then you can call us here on 0911 6993 993. You can also listen live on our website there, after993.com, and also listen to the audio stream there. 0911 6993 993. All right. So while we wait for the calls, Barrister Amos Ogbonnaya, let's take a look at what do you consider the most important political events of 2025? Was it a very eventful year politically, or was it a year that has left much to be desired?
It's a very eventful year because it's a year that God chose to talk to Nigerians that is still God. It is the year that God raised the nation to answer to the cries, the weeping, and the despair of Nigerian Christians, that salvation is still of the Lord and that all hope is not lost. The powers or the perennial plans of the Sokoto Caliphate and the Nigerian political establishment to turn this country into a Muslim nation, like they did in Iraq, like they did in Turkey, and they did in Syria, that it will not work for them. Nigerian Christians have suffered untold persecution since 2009 in the hands of Boko Haram, ISIS, ISWAP, and the Nigerian government have done nothing about it. Nigerian government have rather enabled this terrorism by incorporating the terrorists into government and giving them sensitive government positions. Under Buhari, these terrorists that were arrested and should have been made to face the full consequences of the law were rebranded and incorporated into Nigerian Army. Today, the entire Nigerian military is in the hands of Muslim extremists. And that is why we hear of cases of defeat of our army. It's not that our army is not strong.
Yeah.
Our army is among the best.
Yes, Mr. Bona, we'll have a caller on the line. Sorry about that. You can use it. Hello, good morning. What's your name and location? You're welcome.
So, for instance, like you watch all these bandit programs, people that we are saying about, if you watch, you know that with our leaders, their hands against time, they are in support of them. There's one proverb that people used to say that Ogbonnaya to get my story in this, but that when is not good, it's for the benefit of the leaders. So all these things that is happening, bandits here and there, our leaders, their hands is in it, and they know everything about it. It cannot take them 2 seconds or anything 1 day if they want to capture all the whole bandits, stop bandits. It will not take them 2 days. But just because of the corruption of the country, everything. Also, for instance, during Barr regime, they catch some Boko Haram people, they take them as a soldier. They join our Nigerian soldier, but going up and down. They want to tell me if anything, okay, for instance, if Nigeria want to go attack in Boko Haram, they can contact the other one. Then see what is going to happen. So our prayer is for God to give us a good leader, not any place that is going to be, whether north or east or west. It will be a good one who will know the heart of his people, not people that will come. All their mind is for their pocket.
All right.
My prayer.
Thank you. Thank you. 0911 6993 993 0911 6993 993. That's the number to call us on. MOB is saying, good morning, Alex, and the wonderful guests. Right, thank you. Hello, good morning. All right, there is come here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello.
Kenny, you're welcome.
Yeah. I want to give my little contribution to the program that you're hearing.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. My only worry is how to make these governors that affected the APC, how we make sure that they lose the forthcoming election. Because nobody voted for them in APC, and most of them become the APC. Even the ones that did not even win the election in the first place. They all comes to the party that is making Nigerians to suffer. I have not added anything to the people. I don't know if you're hearing me.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Since this present government came in, the number of poor people in Nigeria has increased by a very large amount of number. Now you're increasing poverty, and at the same time you're taxing the people that you're making poor. That does not work anywhere in the world. It's only in Nigeria that we experience that kind of event. That the government, as soon as we came into power, you made more people to be poor. There is no single policy that you are pursuing to make their lives better. The only thing you're not pursuing to reform the police to make Nigeria more secure. You're not pursuing to reform the military to make Nigeria more secure. What you're pursuing is to tax the people, to add more taxes, so that you get money for your pocket to lose. My problem is how will we make, because most of these governors that become, all of them need to lose the forthcoming elections. None of them deserves to win at all. I think that's where we'll start from. That Nigerians, so that these politicians need to know that the people are not happy with them. And another thing is, even no matter how bad that we are trying to say that things are, when these so-called leaders come out in the public, people end up blaming them. We don't show them that we are angry.
There's something that shows that the average Nigerian is not happy with the government. Everything that we are showing them means that we are happy with them. They are doing events, people will show clothes and come down and be clapping for them. What are you clapping for? People that have destroyed your future, even your children cannot even be proud to say that they are Nigerians outside, and you are clapping for them. So my point is, how are we going to make these governors to lose? That's the most important thing. Every governor that becomes APC must lose the first coming election. That's my humble contribution.
All right, that's your contribution. But the question is it as easy as you're saying it? 0911 6993 993. 0911 6993 993. This is Straight Talk here on After Radio 99.3 FM. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the line went like when I asking a question.
I don't quite remember anymore, but except you have something to add, you're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. 0911 6993 993. 0911 6993 993. This is Straight Talk on After Radio 99.3 FM. And the conversation is on. Some people say, yeah, we have to fight for the soul of Nigeria. But the big question is, where is that soul located? Hello, good morning. 0911 6993 993. 0911 6993 993. That's the number you can call us on to be part of the program. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning to you. What's the name and location?
My name is Kezimo.
You're welcome.
About the contribution of what we are saying now. The only thing about Nigerian government is all of them are very, very corrupt. We are praying God for a new review for this new year. After it's our electoral reform so that we can enable the citizens vote right. All my contribution for that.
All right, then. Thank you. 0911 6993 993. 0911 6993 993. That's the number. You can call us on to be part of the conversation, to lend your voice to the discussion. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name and location?
My name is
Your name is?
I'm calling from Sokoto.
Yes, I think you're close to your radio. Can you move away from your radio so we can hear you?
Yes.
No, you are still close to your radio. Can you leave where the radio is?
Okay, I have listened.
Okay.
Morning.
So what's your name?
My name is Fabid. I'm calling from Kolkam.
You're welcome. How's Kolkam this morning?
They are fine. Happy Christmas.
Yeah, the same to you, brother.
Yes. So I hear what we are conversation. I like this conversation because Boko Haram, the terrorists, they want to finish up. I thank God for US to come and finish them. And my happiness is this, that they will come again, because there are many Boko Haram in government, and there are many Boko Haram in Kaduna and Sokoto. So my happiness is that as they come, yes, let Nigeria, let the governors, let the president know that the thing they are doing to the Christians is no good. Many Christians have been killed since 1999. So there is no any way, no people are talking about it. If you thought they will trace you and kill you. But now, United Nations has come, and they will deliver us in Jesus' name.
United States, you mean? Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
0911 6993 993. 0911 6993 993. That's the number you can call us on to be part of the discussion. And of course, we also have, all right. Hello.
Hello, good morning, After Radio.
Good morning to you. What's your name and location?
My name is Don Frank, aka I'm calling from New Frank.
You're welcome, Don Frank.
Your discussion this morning is very, very important and is very okay. In terms of US coming to our nation.
If you can call us back, that would be lovely. 0911 6993 993. 0911 993. We are gradually inching close to the end of the program. And of course, we'll be here tomorrow and next and continue to have the program so that you can find your voice and talk straight. That's why it's straight talk. Let me come back to my guest who's in the studio here, Barrister Amos Ogbonnaya. As we conclude this program, it looks like Nigeria has its work cut out for her in 2026. A lot of people believe that what happens in 2026 might determine the outcome of the elections in 2027. Do you share that sentiment?
Yes. 2026 is like the planting season, while 2027 is the harvest. This 2026, all political parties that still want to be relevant will have their national and state conventions to elect people who will fly the party's flag at all levels of election, presidency, National Assembly, House, State House of Assembly. Now, this is where internal democracy comes in. The political parties allow internal democracy. I will still be like the system of Godfather anointing, like we have always had since 1999. When somebody feels that he owns the party, and he will sit in his house and write names of those who will fly the party's flag at all levels of elective election. Or will it be open to everybody who is a member of the party to aspire to any political position he wishes to aspire to? It is next year that we determine. Because if Godfatherism is still allowed to continue to operate, it means that the people that will produce next year, 2026, to fly the party's flag in 2027 will be our last 11, not our first 11. And when we pick people who should be on the bench, if you are in a football tournament, we pick those who should be on the bench to come and play as first 11. You do not have any plan of winning that tournament. If you want to win a tournament, you put in your first 11. So next year, 2026, is a year that we will know whether Nigerian politicians has learned any lesson. Whether whether the Spirit of God has touched them to change their character and their attitude towards illicit money, has to be able to, for once, show patriotism to elect the best candidates to fly the party's flag. If we do that next year, then we can be sure of a bountiful harvest in 2027 election.
Absolutely. There is someone who's. Let's see if we can take one more call before we go. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. I called back. Did you go to a second?
Oh, yes. If you can make it quick, a minute.
Yes. I congratulate Donald Trump to come into our nation, Nigeria. It's a very, very welcome development. And we want him to come back again. All these corrupt politicians or those bandits with hide inside forest, you need to keep them out. And another one is P2B preparing to in 2027 that the elections that are coming. You know that P2B have win this election in 2023, and they deny it for him. And what I want to say is that he should prepare again. He cannot go. He cannot go arrest because of what they do in that 2023. They will come again, and our nation the people that you love him, you vote for him. Whether they read it again or not, but we still hope that God will intervene and they will definitely bring the things to an end.
All right.
To this, all these corrupt politicians.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you, Gobuzo. Thank you. And that's it for Straight Talk for today. We'll be back tomorrow sometime for the program. My name is Alex. But until tomorrow, take care of yourselves and each other. Good morning.